We go with chapter 10, part 5. This is the final part of this book, English Conversation 616, for humans who talk to humans. A pop culture focused general discussion to get us thinking about how connected we are to English. I've got a lovely iced coffee this morning. I love the sound of the ice. So let's start with this review quiz on question 1. It's a good idea. So what's a blockbuster? What is a blockbuster? A blockbuster is a big studio, big budget movie. A blockbuster usually has an all-star cast and a well-known director. Blockbusters are not always successful though. Summer blockbusters are often released in time for the school summer holiday. So blockbusters usually are released when there are lots of people interested in watching movies. Generational changes have meant that blockbusters sometimes struggle during those times. But we have in England, for example, have something called a half term. Half term. So what happens in England is the school year starts and you get 6 weeks of classes and you have a 1 week break. You have 6 weeks of classes and then you have a 2-week holiday. 6, 1, like that. It continues along, and there's one more, and then they get the big summer holiday. What this means is the structure of school. Some studios try to release movies in these gaps at the half term, as well as blockbusters in the summer holiday, because when you've got the most people available who are bored, what should we do? Let's go watch a movie. Used to be quite easy entertainment. Because there didn't used to be Netflix and everything else with unlimited movie access. So it used to be go to the movie or go to the cinema. Then it used to be go rent something from Blockbuster. Remember that? Remember the company Blockbusters? I still have my Blockbusters card. If I had it with me, I could show you. I've got it. I know where it is. So it's a big studio, big budget movie. Studio is the people financing the movie, the place where it's filmed, and the budget is how much money it has. So a blockbuster usually has a big budget. Question 2. What is the plot of a movie? What is the plot of a movie? A plot of a movie is the sequence of events in the story. Okay, so that defines it for you. If you want extra expressions, you could say it has an interesting plot. And then a nice expression, the plot thickens. So when something becomes more mysterious or complicated or interesting, people say, the plot thickens. To me, I don't know if Sherlock Holmes said this, but maybe Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes would have said something like this. The plot thickens. It becomes more mysterious and intriguing. Question 3. Watching all 3 movies back to back was just like a real... There we go, well done. Marathon. Was a very delicious chocolate bar at some point. Number 4, translate genre. Genre. into your native language? Pop that in the comments, please, if you want to. Number 5, use lead actor in a sentence. Because English is tough, lead, L-E-A-D, L-E-A-D, lead, lead. Same word, well, not the same word, it's the same letters, but it represents a different word. Lead, lead. So this is a type of word. The point I'm making is you need the context. To know how to read this, you need the context. You're not going to have a lead actor, so it has to be lead actor. So sometimes when you read, you may accidentally say lead actor. But your brain will learn over time, oh, lead actor is the correct combination. So the context clue will help your brain automatically memorize which one is correct. I tend to enjoy movies more when I don't know the lead actors. When I don't know. When I don't know the lead actors. Not knowing the lead actors helps me focus on the plot. So it helps me focus on the plot. Some explanation for this is if you know a famous or well-known actor or actress in the movie, you tend to assume that they will not die early on in the movie in the first 1 or 2 minutes because they are a headline actor. So you tend to know that they'll be okay, so it gives you details of the plot. It takes away that risk. But if I don't know who these people are, they mean nothing to me, it balances that, so it increases the emotional engagement I have with, like, yeah, anything could happen, because I don't know which of these people are the valuable cast members in terms of the investment in the movie. I don't know who's going to be in it the longest. I don't know where the focus is yet. So I can just enjoy the movie, enjoy the plot, be surprised. It's good for me. Question 6. What makes a plot twist surprising? Okay. What makes a plot twist surprising? Again, this will be very personal. A lot will depend on your movie experience, how many movies you've seen. I've told you before, I don't enjoy horror movies. And the reason is, I've seen so many of them, they are almost all the same. So I recognize the patterns, the music, the lighting, the character cues and clues, and it's so boring to watch horror movies. So when something different comes along, that's really nice. A plot twist is surprising when there are no hints or foreshadowing in the film. I recommend that we focus on this word, foreshadowing. For means before, to do early or previous to. Shadowing, in a film, foreshadowing means in the beginning of the movie there will be a clue or a hint telling you what's going to happen in the movie, in the story. There are some very brilliant examples where, avoiding spoilers, characters appear and say things in the movie that then happen to spell out, like write out or detail the plot of the movie. But because you're focused on the movie, you don't necessarily recognize that straight away, but it subconsciously helps your brain process the story of a movie. So foreshadowing is helpful. It's most common in movies for children or low quality movies as well, because children need more help understanding what's going to happen so they can process the stories. However, it's not uncommon in movies for the general public, because these days particularly Netflix, and no offense intended, but studios believe that audiences are distracted, so they need more detailing and foreshadowing in films to get people's attention. Not that I think it's tacky, but in Mission Impossible is a good example of foreshadowing to some extent. Mission Impossible sets out this ice machine. Mission Impossible states at the beginning of the movie what the mission is, right? So you know the story, and it helps you to process that. That's an extreme example. Other forms of foreshadowing can be seen in stuff like Home Alone, #1, but that's another famous example. I won't mention that. Surprising plot twists sometimes include cameos. So that's a good chance for a cameo appearance from a famous face because of a plot twist. 7, what's the difference between a sequel and a prequel? Zoom out a bit. And zoom in a bit. In, out, shake it all about. What's the difference between a sequel and a prequel? The difference between a sequel and a prequel is, so this is the structure. When there's two words you need to talk about the difference, this is the structure you use, and then you change the vocabulary. So the difference between a coffee and a tea is, the difference between an Americano and a long black is, a sequel continues the story after an original film, whereas a prequel goes back to show the story before. Right, excuse me. So the sequel continues a story after an original film, whereas a prequel goes back to show the story before. And Star Wars, one of my favorite trilogies or franchises. It's a triple trilogy at the time of filming, probably more to come. Star Wars is arguably the most famous example of sequels and prequels. So Star Wars, back in the day, started with 4, 5, and 6. And when I was a child, I went to the cinema to watch 1, 2, and 3. Jar Jar Binks. If you know, you know. And then most recently, 7, 8, and 9 with the new Skywalker trilogy, which is cool. They're all basically the same. So lots of foreshadowing in Star Wars, especially if you go back and watch the movies, you'll realize, oh, they did tell you exactly what's going to be happening in everything. So that's good. Anyway, classics. 8, true or false? A trailer is a full movie. Well, I don't think anyone's going to get this one wrong. That's obviously false. Right, a trailer is a full movie. No, a trailer is a 30-second clip promoting a movie, an advert for a movie. 9, write a sentence using comedy. Comedy. Ooh. Here's some I prepared earlier. So my favorite movie genre is comedy. I'm not sure if my life is a comedy or a tragedy. It's quite, I wouldn't say common, but it's not uncommon for people to say that if they are having a hard time or going through something. They might, I don't know if my life is a comedy or a tragedy. So tend to be conflicting. So comedy is funny, tragedy, going back to Shakespeare, so tragedy would have a death or something in that, a sad story. One of my favorite comedies is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's a classic. I absolutely recommend this. Absolutely brilliant comedy, using some very funny visual and idiomatic punny jokes. I mean, it's genius, absolute genius. If I can spell genius, absolute genius movie. The people behind it were fantastic. Finally, final question. What makes a scene in a movie memorable? Well, this will be different for everyone, right? So these are my opinions. Use it as a structure to change and put down your own opinions. So for me, a scene is memorable when it is unique. And I mean unique. Like, it's not the same as anything else. It's completely different, special, and creative and inventive. So that means when it's emotional or thrilling in a special way. Some of the most memorable scenes are when powerful actors deliver incredible speeches. So I've tried to use adjectives here with the nouns to emphasize those points. And one such example is when Al Pacino gives his dressing room speech at the end of Any Given Sunday about life being made up of inches, and those inches are all around us. And it's really inspiring, and it's considered a brilliant speech because how it builds up to its crescendo, like a piece of classical music. And yeah, it is really motivating, and I try to live by some of that meaning in his speech. One of the most incredible actors, and it's a pretty good movie as well. I love sports movies that have a motivational message, like The Blind Side or just Remember the Titans, Moneyball. There's Trouble with the Curve. So many good sport-focused movies that have a great message that I enjoy. Anyway, it is with some sadness, but genuine appreciation. Thank you. This time you're going to get thank you very much. Smiley face because I'm still a child inside. I really appreciate you giving up your time to watch this, and well, it's going to help you study the material, so it's good for you to review. But thank you so much. It's really fun to do this, even if it's super basic, but I hope it's been helpful. And I will see you again in the future with probably higher quality content. This is really just a basic practice for me. So thank you, and well done for making English fun to teach for me, and I think you've enjoyed yourself as well. Take care, and we'll see you in the next videos in the future. Toodaloo!